Okay, question number 8. After extinction, when I'm only drinking a few times a year, can I use a lower dose if I'm having side effects?
So that's a really good question, and I've run into this a lot lately with people who are drinking very, very seldomly. So I find that the safest way to do this, if you have the ability to plan, so let's say you know you're going to a wedding on such and such date, and you really want to enjoy some toasts and drinks. I think the safest way is to titrate up before the event. That seems to have been the overwhelming response to people who have done it this way. So they will take a half a tablet on, let's say, Wednesday, half a tablet Thursday, half a tablet Friday, maybe, or maybe just 2 times, so that they can take the full 50 milligrams on the day that they drink. That said, there are a lot of people who have found that they've drunk maybe once or twice a year, and 25 milligrams helped them get through that event. I'm not a doctor. I do know from doctors Escapa and Sinclair that 25 milligrams does not block alcohol, but there's a placebo effect in the beginning when people start taking it and they think it's blocking it, and they actually drink less. So that's a really complex and very good question. I always say safety first, and that would mean taking 50 milligrams. So I kind of like the way people plan for that event and they titrate up to it. And by the way, this is without drinking. So they would take 25 milligrams with no alcohol. But I mean, that's a kind of controversial thing. According to your face, you're thinking I'm saying something wrong.
No, not at all.
No, but
No, I'm spinning questions.
oh, okay, because I have found with individuals that this really works. They titrate up to so that they don't ruin their evening out or their trip to Mexico by having side effects. So they just plan a couple days before they take a half a milligram, half a tablet for a couple days. That seems to work really well for them, and they do not drink with that half tablet. So understand 25 milligrams with abstinence, 25 milligrams with abstinence, and then Friday night you go out and you have your 50 milligram pill and you drink. And hopefully you're used to the side effects by then.
Well, one of the things I was thinking about while you were talking about that was going back to our very first question. Look, you now have a very legitimate reason that you just said that explains taking naltrexone without following by drinking.
Yeah.
And so this is something that you've mentioned before. And do I recall right? Before you stopped drinking entirely, when you were only drinking really sporadically, didn't you mention that you would occasionally have some side effects from the medication because of not using it so often?
It was
So
like
you're
starting.
so you're speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, no, it was like starting over. And I stupidly didn't know about, well, I did not know about this titrating up idea because I didn't think about it. So I would just pop 50 milligrams and hope for the best. And every single time I felt woozy and out of it. And it affected my night out because my night out was going to be that one time I was drinking. 25 milligrams, which I tried, absolutely was a lot easier. But, is it necessarily safe? Could it lead to me wanting to drink the next night? I don't have to worry about that anymore because I'm currently not drinking, but nor have any plans to right now. But if I was going to drink, let's say I was going to go to Italy in December for Christmas, and I thought, you know what? I know it's been 3 years of no drinking, but I kind of feel like I want to. I would definitely do the titrating up. I would probably start 4 or 5 days before the trip and get used to the medication. Absolutely.
And I see a comment in the stream here. For those not familiar with the word titrate is, I learned it in chemistry in college, and basically it's taking very small steps to get to the desired amount. So what Claudia is talking about is taking lower doses and moving up slowly to the full dose. So is the simplest explanation of that.
if you're hypersensitive to naltrexone and you haven't had a drink, let's say it was really tough for you to get used to it the first time around, 1-2 weeks of side effects, then you can start with a quarter of a tablet before your trip, and just, increase it as you get more comfortable. And by the time you go on your trip, you're ready to take the full 50 milligrams, and it won't adversely affect your good time. So, that I think is a very reasonable, safe option for people to get back used to it. And once again, if you only drink a couple of times a year, that's a very real possibility. I mean, there are some lucky people out there that pop a pill and it just sits in the back of their brain, regardless of whether it's 6 months or 12 months or 18 months after the last one.
Well, and so here's a different scenario. So I'd love to hear what your thought is on this one. Say I'm on the Sinclair Method. I'm literally drinking once a year. It is on New Year's Eve. And I know without a doubt that I am only having one glass of champagne and quitting. Does it make a difference? Now, should it still be a titrate up? Or do you think that lower dose, because I'm not drinking that much, and I know I'm not drinking that much, because this is also one of those questions we hear. Does your answer stay the same?
I cannot, in good measure, even though I've seen 25 milligrams work for some individuals, I cannot safely or comfortably recommend that anybody tries a lower dose and then drinks alcohol, regardless of whether it's one drink or a half a drink. I don't feel comfortable saying that. I mean, I was told by the masters, that 50 milligrams blocks alcohol. 25 milligrams does not block alcohol. That is what I've been told. We talked earlier, you clarified in a really great way, how the body can absorb and how different bodies absorb different amounts of medication, and on a biological level. But we don't know. I can't tell you that you're not going to relapse. I can't tell you that you take 25 milligrams and wait an hour and have a glass of champagne. Your brain, your lizard that's been asleep for a year, might just wake up and go, oh, wait a minute now, let's get another drink. I don't know. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. I have relapsed myself on TSM. I'm never going to suggest anything that would put you at risk. So I say, titrate up, be safe, take the 50 milligrams, have your glass of champagne. That's what I say. Sorry.
I think that needed to be said.
Yeah,
because the common comeback on the a wedding, I'm expecting that it's a celebration. I'm not going to be thinking about it. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot. But so it's common for someone to say, well, what if I'm only having one?
No, let's get one more time out and then we can move on. But to me, where the red flag is right there? The red flag is there because I've been there. I've seen that movie and I've worn that T-shirt, is that the lizard is trying to get you to take a half a tablet, knowing that this will be his opening to wake up and become the dragon again. The Kraken is ready to wake up because it's sick of being sober for the past year. So I don't know. Your lizard could be just saying, a wedding? Things are sparking. Endorphins are sparking already. Alcohol? You could even be sparking endorphins just thinking about that one glass of champagne. You could be preparing yourself and waking up that lizard by thinking about the glass of champagne, the cork, the thing, the excitement. I get to drink. Maybe he's already awake. Now he's telling you, that insidious little bastard is saying to you, just take a half a tablet. You'll be fine. It's the same lizard that told you years ago when you were 6 months sober, just have one glass. You're not an alcoholic. You were just 6 months sober. I don't trust him. I don't trust the lizard. So I'm going to say a big no to your 25 milligrams and one glass of champagne.
Excellent. I love it. And I love the way you have very passionately and yet very clearly put that, and why. Because it's so important. It's so important that you stop and realize that, again, you've made a commitment to yourself that you're going to beat this thing and keep it beat, why on earth would you want to take any chance to allow it to come back?
Let's just reiterate this. You are not cured. You are in remission. You are in remission as long as you stay compliant and vigilant. You're not cured. You cannot go drink without naltrexone, period.
And I think starting with, I'm just going to do the half is opening the door to the, if half, then maybe I don't need it at all. And that's a scary escalation to put yourself through.
I lost 20 pounds, but I'm just going to pick up a gallon of ice cream. I won't eat much of it. Okay, if you have that much willpower to have one spoonful, but you got a gallon there, and you're going to have a spoonful every night, a spoonful the next day. We know ourselves, folks. Be vigilant.
All right. I don't see any questions, so we are going to go ahead and transition to our final question. And this is one that a lot of people ask as well. So we'll go ahead and pause for a moment.